Okay, everybody, welcome back to our Facebook Live series here. In our podcast, you can find it up on iTunes under Body Talk. My name's Troy. I'm one of the orthopedic PAs here at Advanced Spine Joint Wellness. Today we have our whole group, minus one, of chiropractors here, Dr. Cory Sieniawski, so welcome.
Thank you.
Dr. Matt Meehan. Dr. Lily Bank is going to be here in spirit. She doesn't like being on the camera. And we have Emily. She's our social media coordinator here, so welcome, everybody. If you want to find the podcast, you can go up to iTunes, so you can find this on iTunes. I do have Facebook up today, so if you are on Facebook Live with us and you have a question about sciatica, which is what we're discussing today, feel free to punch it in, and we'll do our best to answer the question as we kind of go through. And a little background on what's going on. These two, along with Dr. Lily, were voted Medina's #1 chiropractor by Medina County Lifestyle Magazine. So absolutely fantastic. They do a great job. We've just expanded from, a 3,000 square foot facility over where we were before, over to a 10,000 square foot facility, and growing significantly. And these guys are just doing great. So if you have questions, if you have issues, you can find us at ohiopain.com. And you can schedule a consult directly by calling us directly, 330-242-7669. So today, I'm just going to pull up the live feed here. We're going to be talking about sciatica. So I'll just open up, guys. Dr. Cory, just before we started the cast here, said an umbrella term. So why don't you expand on that, a little bit about sciatica here, because it is a broad term and has a lot of potential different things that go along with it.
It is. So anytime you have somebody that comes in and they say, numbness or pain down my leg, I've got sciatica. Well, sciatica can mean numerous different things. There's different things we look at in the sense of, is there a nerve impingement somewhere starting at the root of the nerve in the spine when it comes out. There's numerous muscles that come down the leg that could also be tightened, pinch on that. So for example, people mistakenly say I have sciatica when they have more of a piriformis syndrome, where the sciatic nerve, which is one of the main nerves that come down the leg, actually gets impinged or trapped underneath that piriformis muscle. So, common today, we have people sitting in desks all day, students sitting in chairs, and people that sit with their legs more externally rotated, causing that shortening of that muscle, and it pinched down on the nerve. And when you pinch down on the garden hose coming out of your house, there's gonna be no water coming out after wherever it's pinched or kinked at. So when that nerve is pinched down on for too long, we can get that numbness or tingling. I know people that sit on the toilet for too long sometimes will, their sit muscles or their sit bone becomes numb.
Funny to get that a lot.
Tingling down the legs. Yeah, and so it's just people default to that sciatic term, and it's something that other doctors or just kind of tossed around nonchalantly and not really coming up with a hard diagnosis. So it's it's a little more intricate than that. So
yeah, and it's a big, broad term. And Dr. Matt, I've heard you in the past say that sciatica really isn't a diagnosis. It's not a formal diagnosis. It's more of a symptom of a problem.
Exactly.
Dr. Cory was kind of alluding to that. Maybe expand on that a little bit, because I've heard you kind of on multiple occasions, sciatica is more of a symptom, and there's a cause.
Yeah, exactly. Like Dr. Cory was saying, it's that symptom of numbness, pain, tingling, weakness into the legs, and it's just that broad term sciatica. And there's so many different nerves that are coming down out of the lower back, down into the legs. A lot of times it's not the actual sciatic nerve that's getting impinged. So it just depends where that nerve's getting impinged. What's causing it? Is it something like piriformis syndrome? Is there a disc herniation, a disc bulge? Is there just a misalignment in the vertebrae that's causing stress on that nerve, inflammation on that nerve? So the term sciatica is, it's not a true diagnosis. It's more of just the descriptor for the symptom that you're having. And then looking at what the cause is, looking at x-rays, MRI, looking at exam findings, that's what truly gets us our diagnosis, so that we know what the type of treatment would be best to treat that symptom of sciatica.
Yeah, I would say it's probably, I don't know, Dr. Matt, you've been here with us for, 5 years now, something like that. And I would say sciatica is the #1 problem that we see. And I think what makes us better at treating it is that, maybe elaborate on this a little bit. We see a lot of folks that come in and they're frustrated with it. Been dealing with it for a long time. Just for instance, we had that young lady come in yesterday. She's got pain going down her leg. She's got a pinched nerve in her lower back from a disc herniation, but they're just putting pain patches on her leg. And it's just been symptom-based treatment. Maybe elaborate on a little bit about integration, guys, as you kind of have these great tools behind you as chiropractors. So with integration, it gives us a lot of different tools. But first is we have to establish the diagnosis.
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about the pelvis. because I think this goes under-recognized when patients come in and we talk about pelvic misalignment, or if it's unlevel, things like this, or rotated. Many patients seem to be surprised about that when we talk about that. When I'm in with meeting someone, talking to them about their X-ray, it seems something new. Maybe elaborate on the pelvis to start with.
Well, I mean, like Troy said, looking at the whole body, we don't want to just look with blinders. Sometimes we think of a symptom, you say, oh, I have pain in my lower leg, and then you focus in on the lower leg. You focus in with blinders, you're not looking at anything else. So we, here at our office with the integrated system is, take the blinders off, kind of look at the entire body. If someone's coming in with lower leg pain, figure out what's going on. You check the ankle, you check the knee, you check the hip, you check the pelvis, check the lower back, trying to find what's causing those problems. And with that lower back pain, I would say almost everyone that comes in with lower back pain or sciatic type pain has some kind of pelvic misalignment. Whether it's some rotation in the pelvis, whether it's some tilt, something that may have just started from an accident or an injury, slip and fall, or something that they've just developed over many years of the way they sit, the way they sleep, what they do for work, certain movements that we do. We get into these routines that we constantly move the same way, we constantly sleep the same way, we sit the same way. I mean, one patient today said, his pain was down his left glute, so he sits favoring it on the right side, and we look at his x-rays and his pelvis is tilted. So it's these activities that we do every single day that causes that rotation. Then you get the inflammation around the sacroiliac joint, you get irritation on the piriformis, and it causes those sciatic type symptoms.
What percentage of people would you say in America probably deal with this problem at some point in their lives? Because it's pretty common.
Well, I read one study that was saying that over someone's lifetime, 80% of people will deal with debilitating back pain. That's not sciatic pain, but it's not just aches or pains. It's pain that just puts you down. So that's 8 out of 10 people will deal with that sometime in their lifetime, which is outrageous. And that's what we're here to help lower that number. Trying to not only get the people that are dealing with that pain, but then educating them on what they need to do to help not only get rid of the pain, but then prevent that from becoming a bigger problem, and then talking to them about what to do wellness-wise with that. Talking to them about their family, about their kids, getting people checked out before they have the problems, rather than wait for the symptom to come before you come in to get things checked out. So it's looking more as like preventative care rather than crisis care, which is kind of what our society is all about. Wait for a problem to happen, then figure out what you need to do to fix it, rather than what do you need to do to prevent that problem from actually happening.
Okay, great question coming in. Dr. Cory, maybe you can take this one. Young lady's asking, and thanks for the question, what's the best way to diagnose this problem?
Best way to diagnose?
Just
sciatic or just...
so when it comes to sciatica, how do you diagnose this issue?
Well,
because it's a good question.
No, it is. And first and foremost, the best way to do is a systematic approach. So doing a step-by-step process, not looking at 5 different things at once, because you're kind of get mumbled and jumbled going different ways. It's kind of like the treatment side of things too. If you throw 5 treatments at it, you don't know which one of those 5 are going to work. So you systematically look at it. So we want to see the muscles. We stretch a lot. What kind of activities are we doing throughout our daily life? Are we sitting? Are we an athlete? Younger, people, out doing, laboring work. Some landscapers.
So good history.
So good history, exactly. So start with that history. See what parts of the body, are dysfunctional. I mean, dysfunctional just as simple terms of aren't working properly.
Yeah, and a good exam.
Yeah,
it's kind of what you're looking to.
Yep. So going to the exam, seeing, make sure muscles are equal on both sides. We have an antagonist and a protagonist muscle. The prime example is your biceps and triceps. As one contracts, the other relaxes. Well, if both are contracting at the same time, you're going to pull the joints out of their proper alignment or their centration. So you're going to go to one side. So looking at your spine and then the pelvis, are muscles pulling the spine to twist or turn in one way, causing pressure on a nerve. Or those muscles themselves actually pressuring on the nerve. So doing that good history, seeing where we're coming from. So from get to point A to point B, you gotta know where point A is. You gotta know where you're starting. So that history, that exam, very important. And then going down, looking to the structural side of things. So like we do here, those weight bearing X-rays are really important. Seeing structurally how are things sitting. Like Dr. Matt alluded to, with the pelvis, being shifted. When people come in, it's not they're saying, "Wow, I feel like I'm crooked. I need to go to the chiropractor to get help." They come in because they feel pain. We chase pain so much in society where pain is not a problem. It's a symptom of a larger problem. So as we, the easiest way to explain it is, as your problems go on, pain is always the last symptom to come about, and it's always the first to go away.
Sure.
So I'm coming in to the doctor because I hurt. Okay, well, we want to get you out of pain, but we want to diagnose and figure out what that problem is causing that pain. So when we get you treated and that pain starts to subside, we need to continue to go with it because we want to correct that issue. If we kind of fall off and just say, okay, I feel good, we're stuck in this circle of chasing that pain away. Oh, the pain comes back, I'm going to go get back treated. It's more of a symptom-based care, which is something we like to pride ourselves and push away from because we want that corrective care, correcting things so that long-term health. And like Matt alluded to again, getting to wellness, making sure we understand this was our problem. We need to fix that problem, strengthen the areas of weakness where that problem arose, and continue to do that and maintain that so we don't fall back into those old bad habits of posture, bad habits of walking. And our body is one big cohesive unit, and the cool way of thinking about it is the foundation of a house. If the foundation starts to sink or get crooked, and the house shifts and you see things improperly, I'm not just going to make one wall higher to balance everything out, because if that foundation continues to shift more, we're going to have a continuing problem. We're just going to keep building that wall taller. No, we need to figure out how to level out that foundation so everything above it and below it sits properly.
You had mentioned the weight-bearing X-ray. So I'm going to kind of key into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Why a weight-bearing X-ray? For the average person out there who's listening, maybe hasn't had an X-ray, or had X-rays maybe supine, laying down. Why a weight-bearing X-ray? What's so important about that? Because we really make sure that just about all of our films are weight-bearing, which is really, really important.
Exactly. Sorry.
No, that's great. Go ahead.
What is important about that is, I wish I lived in had a job in a society where I could live laying down my entire life. That's just not the way the cookie crumbles. We got to get out and work, and it's good to do some X-rays laying down for look at structural abnormalities. If somebody has an injury, make sure there's no broken bones. But we spend, I would say, 90% to 95% of our day standing upright with the weight of gravity upon us. So those weight-bearing X-rays give us a good chance to see how we look standing upright. So we can look at alignment, pelvic tilts, how the spine sits, the other joints, make sure the angles of certain parts of the body are good. 2, looking at how the weight takes down on the spine, so the disc spacing between each of the joints, making sure that discs are healthy, make sure there's no degeneration, because as soon as we start to see that disc space decrease a little bit, the doorways on the side where the nerves come out, those are going to shrink a little bit and can cause some pressure. So making sure that we're seeing how how our body sits as we're standing on a day-to-day basis is extremely important. So
I always like to talk to patients, when they come in and they kind of ask what are treatment options for this. And I like to categorize them because I think it kind of makes things simple. And then maybe we'll talk about we'll talk about number 3, which is stuff, we'll call it. So I always like to categorize. So when someone's out there listening, okay, great guys, you're rattling some stuff off about sciatic, what do we do about it? I like to always categorize things and keep it simple. And really it comes down to 4 different options. Option number 1, of course, nothing. You don't have to do anything for it, you can just live with it, which isn't a great option. Option 2, medicines, which obviously we aren't big fans of. Pain medicines, pain management, Tylenol, ibuprofen, Advil. To us, it really doesn't fix anything. It just covers a symptom and the underlying problem. Number 3, then there's stuff. So there's stuff in the middle. And that's chiropractics, physical therapy, decompression, laser injections, these kind of things. Then number 4, surgery. Now our goal, of course, is to keep folks away from surgery. Number 4, and away from pills. And most people that come in or have this problem aren't going to do option number 1, which is nothing. So let's talk about number 3, treatment. What's available? And we have all of those tools here. Every single thing that's possible in step 3 we have. Talk about how that helps you as a chiropractor. When you look around, Medina, and you go, okay, we're voted number 1. And why are you guys better than other? What tools do you have behind you that's really kind of setting up your treatment for success to help with some of these things?
Yeah, well, we talked about it before with the integrated system. So more than just the chiropractic, like Troy said, we have the physical therapy, we have the medical options, we have massage therapy, decompression, laser, cryotherapy. We have all of these other tools that most chiropractic offices don't have all of that. Most chiropractic offices, you go in, you get an adjustment, you might do some stim, maybe some ultrasound, a few light exercises that they give you to do at home, but honestly not many people actually do the homework exercises. So what we do is focus on getting people treated here in the office, and we work hand in hand with all the other practitioners. So we're talking to the physical therapists every single day about every patient that's coming through the door. Talk to the medical team about every patient that's coming through the door every single day. So we're all on the same page with their treatments. So if there's anything that's changing or anything that they need to change, we can work hand in hand to do that. And we're working with that alignment as chiropractors, working with those misalignments of the vertebrae, and then having the other tools to help with some of the structures around that, the muscles, the ligaments, helping decrease inflammation, decrease tightness and tension in those muscles. It allows our job to be a lot easier as chiropractors to get those movements there, and it allows it to be a lot easier for the patient too, because if someone's tight and tense and hurting and been like that for years, it's kind of hard to move those joints, and when we move them, it can be a little bit uncomfortable, can be a little painful sometimes.
Sure.
But having the medical option, having the massage, having the physical therapy to help loosen things up a little bit more, so that our job as chiropractors, getting those joints moving, is easier for us and easier for the patient. You get better results with it when you combine it all together. That's just the main key with it.
Here's a question that came in, and I'm going to kind of take it a little bit, and I'm going to pass it off to one of you guys. Isn't sciatica common as we age? So I'm just going to take that because this is one of my favorite questions. And I've always kind of gone back to this one. As we age, are symptoms common to occur? Yes. Is it normal? No. So I'm going to leave it there. Isn't it common as we age for some of these things to occur? Yes. Is it normal and do we have to live with it? No. I'm going to let one of you guys elaborate on that a little bit more. I'm just going to keep it cut and dry.
No.
I'll let you take that one because I think it's a great question. Is it common?
For sure, it's definitely common. But like you said, is it normal? It's not normal at all. That's why when people come in and they say, "Oh, I hurt." That's just because I'm getting old. It's just aging, and I'm hurting more. Well, that's not the case at all. That's not how it should be. You can obviously we age. It's the inevitable truth. It's something that's never going to change. But pain and aches is your body telling you something? Hey, something's not right. I wish it could send you a text message and say exactly what's going on. That'd be great. We could address things a lot quicker, but it's not how it works. The body is just that red light, that signal saying, hey, pain, something's wrong. Well, we need to listen to our bodies, and see what's going on at those short, intermittent stages of pain or those aches, get things to address them before they compound to something bigger. Because, as we age, sure, joints may, become a little less, mobile, things get a little bit stiffer. Okay, there's things we can do to treat that. There's stretching daily, making sure we're staying hydrated. But as we get older, there's, your limitations are in your own mind. Your age is, I'm a big proponent of age is just a number. If you want to continue to get old and say, I'm getting old and not do anything, you can sit there and you're going to start feeling that way. But, thinking, hey, okay, I'm 10 years older than I was 10 years ago. Great, but I can, still want to do these things. I can still do them. Taking care of yourself by eating well, being full on board with the wellness and the preventative care. So seeing a chiropractor or, just even your GP, making sure we're staying on a monthly or yearly checkup, making sure things are good and making sure we're doing blood draws to see, our nutrient levels. And that's something, like Dr. Now was talking about, the integrative care here is we do have stuff with the capabilities of doing that. So coming in and doing a complete blood panel to make sure our body's nice and balanced and as we get older, because things do change, it is, but pain is not normal. Pain is a dysfunction of the body saying, hey, this is something that's going on, we got to address
check engine light in the car.
Exactly.
There's a problem.
For sure.
And just learning. I always like this one too. Fatigue. Fatigue, it's a symptom. You shouldn't be tired. So if you're tired, it's just like anything else. It's a check engine light coming on. Let's talk about sleep. And Emily, I'm going to throw it over to you as we have just a handful of minutes left. Sleep. Dr. Matt, we did a video on YouTube. We got to redo it because the background music I put in it is terrible. But I watched that the other day. It's awful. So the content's good. I always tell them content's good, video's terrible, or the music's terrible. But sleep. When it comes to these things, there are some things that some people, maybe if they're dealing with this thing out there, they can do with sleep. There's ways to modify sleep. To help. Maybe I talk about that a little, and then I'm going to throw it over to you before we kind of run out of time here.
Yeah, typically with sleep, we have 3 different positions mostly. There's belly sleeping, back sleeping, side sleeping. Obviously belly sleeping is going to be the one that's the worst for our back. Bothers our back, bothers our neck. Try to avoid that as much as possible. Back and side are pretty good as long as you're doing the proper things. So we have different ways, different techniques that we can make sure that you're in those proper positions. Most people sleep on their side. That's kind of the most common one that I've talked to people doing this for many years can, tell you that most people sleep on their side. But doing it properly can make sure that your back is in alignment. So putting a pillow between your knees, keeping the legs in a parallel position helps to keep the pelvis from rotating too much. So it takes stress off of that lower back, takes stress off of those muscles there. And when you're sleeping on your side, truly making sure that you're sleeping on your side. a lot of times people will sleep on their side, but they're rotated. They might be on their chest or on their back or on the front of their pelvis, back of their pelvis. So you're twisted the entire night. And if you're in those uncomfortable positions, your body's going to be fighting itself pretty much. So you're not going to get good rest when you're sleeping. You're going to wake up feeling sore, going to wake up feeling tired. And like Troy was saying, you need sleep. We need sleep to heal, and we shouldn't be tired. So whether it's an actual dysfunction that's causing the sleep to not happen, or if it's your body just fighting against itself because of those sore spots that we're getting in the wrong position. And then if you are a back sleeper, keeping the pillow underneath your knees rather than between the knees helps take stress off of that lower back so that you can get in the best position possible. And I tell people this all the time, it's never going to be perfect. You're never going to sleep in the perfect position every single night, all night. If you sleep in the wrong position now, it's going to take a long time to change it. It's not going to be something that happens in just one night. So you can't get discouraged with it. You can't just get discouraged if you say, I'm going to put a pillow between my legs tonight and sleep like that so my back doesn't hurt. Wake up 2 hours later and it's across the room somehow and you don't know how it got there. That's normal. Just go grab it, put it back between the knees. And the more you do that, the more it becomes that normal routine, and it will stay there through the night. So you just can't be discouraged. You just got to do the proper things.
Emily, we're down to about 2-3 minutes here. You've got a question, I think.
I think a good ending question would be for the person who maybe has sciatica pain and they're kind of waiting for it to gradually go away. What would your advice be for them? Is it something that can gradually go away without treatment?
The symptom can, but the problem most likely won't. So you can have a symptom that can go away. It's like Troy alluded to, the check engine light on your car. If you leave it on long enough, that light bulb might burn out. Doesn't mean that the problem that caused the light to come on is fixed.
That's right.
So with sciatica, with any ache and pain, with any problem, there's a possibility if you just let it go long enough, it will go away. But that underlying cause will still be there, and then you never know when it's gonna come back and get you. You never know when it's going to be back again. So that's what we talked about a lot today, is just finding that underlying cause. And I say this a lot as chiropractors. My philosophy is I don't treat pain. And most people look at me weird when I say that. They're like, I don't treat pain. I treat the cause of the pain. Someone comes in with sciatica, I don't treat sciatica. I treat what's causing the sciatica.
Sure.
So that's what we need to look at, because that cause will always be there, but you might not always have the symptom.
Sure. It's a great ending point there, is that you're treating the problem, not the symptom. And I love it. And we're about out of time, so it just flies by. So again, you can find this on iTunes. You can search for the podcast Body Talk. It'll be up on iTunes. You can contact us directly. You can go to ohiopain.com. That's our website. And get more information. You can contact us directly, 330-242-7669 if you'd like a consultation. Guys, thank you. Next week, we're going to talk about inflammation. It's a fun talk, and the 3 sources of inflammation. So stay tuned for that one. It's a really, really good talk as we drill into food and stress and some physical sources of inflammation. Guys, thanks. Any closing points there?
No.
Nope.
Not at all. Yeah.
And if you are, feeling any kind of pain, just feel free to reach out. We're here to talk. And my goal isn't to get you to see me forever. I don't want you to become dependent on myself like chiropractor. We want to teach you how to treat yourself and kind of just get control of your own health, and you're in control versus your body controlling what you do. So feel free to come on in and let's help you.
All right, perfect. Until next time, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Just Tim's question. Dan's one of our